snap it, and it's Trey Burton who throws caught. Bulls touchdown.
Here he goes. It's Hester inside the 30. Hester's going to take it all the way for a touchdown.
Fields stumbling, trying to cut it back. Justin Fields making magic happen. There goes Fields. Touchdown.
Hurts on first down, fires downfield. It's Deshaun Jackson back in the lineup. It's the last 7 games, and he will take it 81 yards. A somersault into the end zone. His first touchdown of the season.
You're listening to the Pigskin Project, the world's #1 football podcast. Now, with more insights on all things football, here are your hosts, Ben Hansen and Ryan Matthews. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pigskin Project. The 79th episode. We're getting close to 80 here. Lots of great stuff happening behind the scenes. We went to training camp this week in Indianapolis, the joint practice against the Bears. As you guys had seen, if you guys had followed us on Twitter, if not, do so, because that's where you will get the updates as far as like tonight, where we're a little bit later than expected. But, lots of fun. And Ben, let's just go ahead and say it as well. I am just about 2 hours away from game day. My first game day, high school, quote unquote, high school game day.
As a coach?
Yeah, since we were in high school. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be awesome. But
yeah,
how you doing, buddy? I mean, long time no see, right?
Yeah, no, I'm doing good, man. It's been a long day. Not nice and tired, but like I said, looking forward to talk some football. Eagles play today. They're currently playing today. So, but
if that's
good.
What you want to call it. Have you watched the Eagles?
I watched the first half, and then I watched a tiny bit of the second. But
did you see who got injured?
I did. A lot of people have gotten injured, dude.
Lots of people, and it's bad too, man. Unfortunately.
Gosh, I forgot who it was.
It's a rookie.
Deion Kane jumped up to get a ball and came down on his neck pretty hard. So,
Moro Ajomo got injured as well.
He got hurt? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So he got carted off. So, I mean, let's see. Zach McPherson, also Nolan Smith. Let's see. Yeah, I mean,
Zach McPherson, Nolan Smith,
Moro
Ajomo.
There's been 6 injuries so far.
Deion Kane. It's been
Cleveland.
This why, and for those wondering, and not that it's a question now, because I think people have started to figure it out. But this right here is the perfect reason as to why, or to show as to why starters aren't playing. I understand you want to see your team go out and you want to see your starters and everyone, but you don't want to risk it. And for those wondering why I paused, I have the game going on in the background. So.
Yeah. But yeah, to answer your question, I'm doing just fine. I mean, tomorrow's going to be a monumental day. I'm going to be exhausted, so probably going to be consuming a lot of caffeine tomorrow.
Yes.
Probably going to be too much for my own good. I'm going to be ecstatic on the sidelines. I cannot wait. So this is going to be the last episode before any kind of other updates for, my team and how we're doing and how it went and stuff like that, because I will definitely be down to talk about that a little bit. I don't want to spend too much time.
I want to get all of it. I can't wait next week to hear Coach
between you and I. Absolutely. Bit. I know Coach Tyler as well will probably make an appearance at some point in time, but next week is really the big week as well. I mean, going down to Lucas Oil and everything, playing on the turf is going to be awesome. But
tickets are for sale for whoever is wondering.
So yeah, and I mean, it's going to be awesome. But first, we got to talk about teams that are actually playing on the turf this weekend as well. So let's dive into it just a little bit. Obviously, we'll get to our training camp experience later on in this episode, but right now we're just going to dive into this.
Ryan and Ben bring you weekly news.
So there's not as much, really. I didn't find all that much really to talk about compared to the previous couple weeks.
Two real big signing. Well, one really big signing, but like
yes, yeah. So the Cowboys have agreed to a reworked deal with Zach Martin that pays him north of $18 million per year over the next 2 seasons. However, that is not either of the 2 big signings that happened in the league. These are free agent running back Ezekiel Elliott is signing with the Patriots, and the Jets are signing free agent running back Dalvin Cook. So if you're looking at fantasy, right, and you still haven't drafted because your league's smart and you don't draft until the preseason's over. So Ezekiel Elliott, he's probably going to be the red zone target. Looking at stealing those touchdowns away from Ramondre Stevenson. So probably stay away from Ramondre Stevenson. We'll get back to fantasy land today. It's going to be awesome. But and then as well, Breece Hall stock down monumentally. I mean, it's huge. Huge deal. And they're trying to get David Bakhtiari as well.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if I would say stock down monumentally, but I would agree. I mean, as soon as the Zeke signing happened, I kind of thought to myself, well, Breece Hall. That's who my kind of start to middle round running back is on target there is. And then 2 hours later, the Dalvin Cook happened, and now it's stuck because you're like, oh, Dalvin Cook would be a nice, person to pick up in the 3rd, 4th round. Same goes for Breece Hall. Hold on, give me 1 second, guys.
There he is. Yeah, bless you. All right.
I'm sure you guys didn't want to hear that. I know we'll get into it in fantasy land, but it'll be interesting. The Jets just are improving, man, and it kind of sucks because I'm a hater for them.
So, and then speaking of another running back, unfortunately, NFL running back Alex Collins has tragically passed away. He wasn't even 30 yet. I mean, the guy is still young. So thoughts and prayers, as always, go out to his friends and family that are definitely mourning, and all of his former teammates and organizations as well, because he did kind of bounce around a little bit, but he was drafted in Seattle. So, I mean, for those that don't already know him and everything like that, he wasn't necessarily a starter per se, but from what I hear, he was awesome. He was a great dude and everything. And unfortunately, he was taken from us a little too early. So rest in peace for him. And then the last bullet point, I don't know if I'm missing anything, but Buccaneers wide receiver Russell Gage suffered a season-ending knee injury and will miss the 2023 season. The reason why I probably left out a lot is because I'm leaving out a bunch of rumors and I'm, stuff that isn't official just yet. So as we always do, not doing that just yet. So
I'm glad that you mentioned that, just because it was like a short 12-hour period. I don't know how much how much NFL Twitter our followers listen to.
Get your tickets, Mom. We got a week.
Yes.
For those listening in the future as well, my mom had just commented, "There's my boys." So there we go. Anyway.
There was like a 12-hour period. I think it was Wednesday. It was either Tuesday or Wednesday, where like someone tweeted out that Sony Michel had died and passed away in like a motorcycle accident. And that did not happen. So for those who have like heard that, there was a rumor that did not happen. Sony Michel is still with us. Thank God. And it does frustrate me a little bit that like people are so worried about being like the people to break the news that you don't double or triple check your resources, especially when it comes to something that serious. That you just send that out. And thoughts of prayers to his family. Thank the Lord that he's okay and he's still with us and that everything is good.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and move on, because that's really all that we had for weekly news. We might get a little bit, I say this. We'll see how it goes. I was gonna say we always say it might be a little quick. We end up on time. Let's see how it goes.
You think you know football? Well, prove it. This is Pigskin Pick'em.
All right, so we're finishing up the NFC or the AFC North this week. Super excited for the weeks to come, just because of plans set in place and everything as well. So a little bit of a teaser for everybody listening here, but we're gonna go ahead and start off with the Browns, and it's gonna be interesting. Just because Deshaun Watson has been very up and down. He has his moments, but it's not even close to where he's been previously. So I know you have a personal bias against him, as everybody should. It's really hard to root for him, but at the end of the day, we got to look at what's given to us. And right now, I'll just start us off and say they're losing to the Bengals. It'll be close. They'll lose to the Bengals.
Oh, I don't think it's going to be particularly close. I think the Bengals are going to kind of run away with this one.
It's the defense that tells me it's going to be close. That's
I don't know. Yeah, we'll both agree. They're definitely going to lose that. Well,
yeah,
we both think they'll lose.
Next week, this man bless you. Next week they're playing the Steelers in Pittsburgh. I think they're gonna win this one, actually. Yeah.
Oh, it's in Pittsburgh?
Yes, I believe.
Oh, well then. Yeah.
Yes,
well, okay. So for those who have been listening to the podcast, I'm same thing every week now. It's probably getting repetitive, and everyone can probably predict it. I'm gonna have them split these games. It's gonna be played at Pittsburgh, so I'm gonna have Pittsburgh win this one. So I do have them getting the first loss of the season.
Okay. Wait a second. You have the Browns winning this one, or
the Browns losing, the Steelers winning this one?
Okay. All right. Cool. And then next week is at home against the Titans. I have them winning this one.
I have them losing this one.
Wow.
I think originally I had talking about the Titans. I think I had the Titans originally losing, but this is just one of those games where I think having the addition of D-Hop and just being able to run the ball as well as they can is just gonna kind of tire out the Browns defense, and I think they're just gonna pull it out. But I think it's gonna be a close one.
This is breaking news as well. The Eagles and Browns have tied in the final because I don't believe there's overtime in a preseason game.
There's not.
So 18 apiece is the final. But anyways,
wonky score.
I have them losing the next two against the Ravens and 49ers, and then winning against the Colts.
I have them splitting with the Ravens since it's home. I have the Browns winning, but then I have them losing the next two to the Niners and Colts.
Wow.
The Niners, even though the Colts didn't look too hot, which we'll get into in a little bit.
Dude, the roster in itself, I mean, how much of this is just your bias and hatred towards Deshaun Watson? Because what I'm looking at in this Browns team is it's deeper than people expected. This D line is going to be crazy. Their secondary is okay. Their linebackers are still all right. And I mean, their offense is scary right now. All they're missing is the Kareem Hunt, and he's still available. I
don't know. I don't think it helps that I just got done, the Browns just got done playing 2 training camp practices with the Eagles, and all reports Deshaun Watson did not look good at all.
But it is
so
the best defense
definitely some recency bias within it for sure.
Okay. So do you have them losing against the Seahawks as well? Because I have them losing against the Seahawks, winning against the Cardinals, losing against the Ravens.
Yep, I have that exact 3 games.
Okay. Just because screw the Cardinals, I guess. I will have them beat the Steelers. No, I'll have them lose against the Steelers at home.
Oh,
What do you think?
I actually have them going on a nice little 3-game win streak here, against the Steelers, Broncos, and Rams.
I'll have them win against the Broncos or Rams. I'll have them take the Jaguars game actually as well. This one's going to be really close as well. It's going to be a surprise, but at the end of the day, yeah, they're going to beat the Jaguars. Why not?
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to say that they will. I just think the Jaguars, I would say probably up and down that entire roster outside of pass rushing, and then maybe cornerback. I would say they just have a better all-around roster, and then running back. But I'm going to go with the Jags.
Well, if you're going to put a little bit of bias in this, I'm going to as well. They're going to lose against the Bears, and then they're going to win against the Texans, and then lose against the Jets and Bengals to finish.
I'm going to have them. Well, we're pretty much the same, but I am going to have them beat the Bears. I'm sorry, buddy.
Hey,
but yes, right. I'm going to have them beat the Bears, beat the Texans, and lose to the Jets and Bengals.
6, 7, 8. So I have them going 8-9. Do you have a final record for them? 1, 2.
I have them going 8-9 as well.
Okay. Wow, this is ridiculous, dude. How close together we are. Mom coming in saying Bear down. She's become a pretty huge Bears fan over the years, I will say. I think taking her to training camp. I think taking her to training camp definitely helped, but at the end of the day, I think, Mom, we got to hit up a Bears game now, right? I mean, we have to. And there's a certain Thursday night football game I've got on my radar, so who knows? Anyways, yeah. So next up, we're looking at the Ravens. There we go. So the Ravens, starting off against the Texans, I have them winning that one. I'll have them lose against the Bengals in Cincinnati, and then I'll have them beat the Colts for the first 3.
Yep. No, I'm interested to see if our schedule is going to be the exact same outside of the Ravens games or outside of the Browns games. But yeah, no, that's how I have them start off the first 3 as well.
Let's see. So I had them lose against the Ravens in the first, or the Browns lose against the Ravens in the first, and then the second as well. So matchup. So the Ravens are going to sweep the Browns in my predictions here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I've got. What do you think for the Browns game here?
Yeah, I'm gonna have them lose to the Browns. Like I said, I'm just gonna have them split when it comes to divisions. So
hey, I don't hate it. Yeah, and then let's see for the next 3, I have them beating the Steelers, beating the Titans, and then beating the Lions.
Oh, okay. So we have our first.
Actually, I'll have them lose against the Lions here. That's tight,
okay.
But yeah.
Yep. Well, then we're still the same. I think we're gonna come away and say this is a really good game. And I don't think either team's probably gonna run away with this, and I think it's probably gonna come down to the last possession. But yeah.
Got you. Yeah. Let me go in here really quick. There we go. And then let's see. They're gonna beat the crap out of the Cardinals. I think they're gonna lose against the Seahawks here.
This is getting scary, man. I really might think that we have predicted the same schedule. I don't know. We'll see. Outside of the Browns games, we might have predicted the same schedule.
You have them splitting against the Browns, so at least we're different there.
Yeah.
Because there's that. And then for the Bengals game, I will have them win because it's at home. I'll have them lose against the Chargers in LA. I'll have them beat the Rams for my next 3. What do you think?
Okay. All right, good. Now we get a little bit of difference here in our schedule, a little bit of variety. I have them losing against the Bengals. The Bengals are just clearly, I think, the best team in this division, even though the worst record in this division is going to be 8-9. But I have them losing to the Bengals, but then winning the next 2 in LA or with the Chargers and Rams teams. So
I'll have them beat the Jags. I'll have them. You know what? I'll have them lose against the Jaguars here. I'll have them lose against the 49ers, lose against the win against the Dolphins, and win against the Steelers to finish it out.
Yep, exact same. Lost to the Jags, lost to the Niners, win against the Dolphins, win against the Steelers.
Awesome. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins, 9 wins for the Ravens here for me. Let's see. So that makes it 9 and 8, and then you have them 1,
10
2,
and 7.
10 and 7. Not bad. Not bad.
Pretty
All
close.
right, one more division to go, and it's a good one in my opinion. I think this one's going to be great. NFC North starting next week. If you guys are Bears, Lions, Vikings, or that other team, you know, I know it. I'm just not saying it out of disrespect. So yeah, I mean, if you guys are fans of those franchises, tune in because we're going to have some pretty awesome content with that. Anyways, so joint practice time. I mean, we get to talk about the joint practice, and I just want to know from your perspective, what were you seeing that you liked from both teams? What were you seeing that you didn't like? Something that you're excited for? What do you think?
So kind of just to explain the layout to people, we walked in and everything. There's like one big stand. And then there was the like 2 football fields, like long ways lined up, like butted up end zone to end zone. And we were looking at, like, we had a better view of the Bears offense versus the Colts defense. But then also we could look over, and a little bit further field down was the Colts offense versus the Bears defense. So obviously we focused a little bit more on the Bears offense there. Anthony Richardson looked really good, even though we didn't get to see a lot of it. But I, obviously went on Twitter afterwards and dug a little bit more into it. But the running backs, the Bears running backs, like specifically looked like very good. Like the 3 main guys. And when I say that, I mean Khalil Herbert, Dante Foreman, and Roschon Johnson. All 3 of them looked really, really good. I hate to say it, man, but Fields definitely had some really nice flash plays in the passing offense, but it was not consistent. And that's still going to be a little bit of my concern because now he's shown that he could do it. He just needs to now do it at a consistent level, a consistent ability to do so.
So let me back that statement up just because there's a fact that you might not be completely aware of. So in practice and everything, people have asked them, I think they asked Coach Eberflus, they were like, hey, are you worried about these interceptions and practice and everything? And the way that he talks about it, and because, I mean, I know that you're not talking about the one-on-ones, right? You're talking about 7-on-7.
Yep, 7-on-7s, 11-on-11s.
Yeah. So essentially what they're going for in that is just play development and trying to force the play just a little bit just to see if, something works, something doesn't. And if not, that's fine. It's not something to where it's like, I need you to make this play for me right now. It's more so like it's practice. If it's not going to work, then it's not going to work. So that's their philosophy. It's nothing like, oh man, if Fields, throws an interception today, or if he's not as consistent with the flashy throws and stuff like that, then, oh man, now they're in need of a new quarterback, or, maybe it's in doubt or something like that. Realistically, though, it's more so a representation of what they're trying to practice, what they're trying to do. And what I had seen was a lot more improvement on the deep ball.
Yes, it was improvement on the deep ball, but my issue isn't consistency on the flashy plays. It was consistency, in general, on passing plays. I will say Ryan had to step away because he was being a good friend and was getting people food for I think all of the 7-on-7s. I don't think you were there
pretty close to it.
Of them. And then part of the 11-on-11s, 7-on-7s was good, but it was even on some short passes, the easy gimme ones, on crossers, there was a curl he missed that was kind of bad. I would like to see him kind of become a little bit more consistent even in the short game. Because even if you become consistent in the short game, he'll be able to, do more, and that opens up so much more. But he's looked good as a passer. Like you said, his deep ball looked like it has absolutely improved. And freaking Velas actually finally did something.
Yeah. Something else to note as well. So reports out of the final day of training camp and final day of joint practice before the actual game, or on Saturday. The quarterbacks looked phenomenal today for the Bears. In fact, it torched the defense completely. We're talking not only Justin Fields, we're talking PJ Walker, we're talking Tyler Badgett. I mean, everybody was connecting. I believe DJ Moore caught 3 touchdown passes today in scrimmage play. So it seems like we might have missed the wrong day of practice. I mean, who knows? Things that I had seen personally, unfortunately, we didn't get to see much of the defense, but something that kind of disappointed me was the fact that we didn't get to see that defensive side, because every play it looked like, oh man, somebody's getting burned on the Bears defense, but we didn't know exactly who it was until they turned around.
Yeah.
So I was really disappointed, because that's like, I really wanted to see like Jalen Johnson and how he would do and everything. And there was one really bad play that I saw when Michael Pittman was running a route against Jalen Johnson, and it just did not look good at all. It looked like Jalen Johnson got put in a blender. It was not great. But I mean, the more that you look into it and everything as well, for the secondary, Tyreek Stevenson has been a dog all training camp, in preseason as well. That's a name that I'm definitely looking forward to seeing in the preseason game on Saturday. Hopefully they give him some pretty limited snaps, but ultimately out of practice, what I'm looking at is a bunch of people who, is fighting for a roster spot or fighting for a resume to attach to, their next tryout for their new team. Tyler Badgett, though, I mean, can we talk about how he's looked as a backup quarterback? I'm like a huge fan of him, actually.
He might be pushing Peterman for that third quarterback spot.
I mean, PJ Walker looked like crap, and Peterman actually had some dots during it.
Yeah,
of
PJ
course,
Walker is
Peterman,
not.
but he's not looking good. But anyways, so there's that. As far as our experience as well towards, the end of practice. So, we got onto the field to a certain extent. There was a roped off section and everything, to where we got to kind of watch the players kind of break their huddle and everything, kind of do their own thing after practice. So we got to see Roshan Johnson walk past us, Chase Claypool, but one guy specifically got to, he was cool enough to at least wave. Obviously he had some workouts and stuff that he had to get to, but he couldn't sign anything at the moment or anything like that. And that was Jalen Johnson. That was really cool for me, especially because last Wednesday at training camp, he was working with somebody to the point where he couldn't go and sign autographs again. And we were literally forced out before he could come over and say hi. So it's not that he doesn't want to say hi to the people of Chicago or anything like that. It's that, like, it's more important for him to put the work in at the end of practice than to go and say hi to the fans. And to be honest with you, I kind of respect that. And then Ben, I know that you left towards the end of practice as well, but somebody that Johnny, our friend Johnny, and I met, we met Cairo Santos. He's really short. He's a really good dude. We got a picture with him and everything. That was awesome. And Darnell Mooney actually came up and, went to go and sign a bunch of stuff and everything. And he, like, dude, we were so close to being able to just take a picture with him. But security literally told him, like, you cannot stay any longer. Like, we need you to come back. And he was like, oh, okay, guys, I'm sorry. I got to go. And so we jogged over, and Velus Jones Jr. was signing stuff as well. And they were like, Velus, get over here. Come on, we got to go. And then that's when he took off as well. Noah Sewell stayed after. Pat Scales stayed after. I mean, a bunch of people, to the point where it was like, even after there were police officers and stuff that were like, hey, man, they're not going to be signing anything, blah, blah, blah. Then like 3 other guys came over and they're like, what's up? Let me sign something. Like, so it was a pretty cool fan experience all the way around. And that wasn't even the coolest part. I mean, it was one of them, but we also met a pretty awesome dude. If you guys follow our Twitter, you guys already know who we're talking about. Or if you guys are longtime listeners, you guys know who Greg Braggs is.
Yeah.
Now as a first-time on the field reporter for the Chicago Bears, he came up and everything. We were able to say hi. Super nice dude, and we'll definitely be having him on in a future episode, hopefully soon, because he's more than willing to hop on whenever we need him. So props to him. Thank you so much for him. It's like he's a blessing, man. It really is. Every time we get to talk to him, it's just absolutely a fun time. So but yeah, I don't know. Do you have any other comments or anything like that? Because I guess I have my little critiques, but I don't know if you have anything else. I'll kind of reload here.
No. The only other thing too was we saw Blue. He was a lot of fun. He was kind of zooming around the sidelines on a little scooter, and we gave him a little yell, and he stopped and waved and gave us a little bit of the costume hip thrust. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and he was like, I'm watching you guys and whatnot. It was fun. All in all, a great experience. The Colts did a good job, and it was just fun to go watch the football.
Absolutely. And food there was amazing too. I was really impressed by that, by the way. I don't know. Yeah, that was good. Anyways, yeah, my little critiques for both teams, really for the Bears side of things, really it's kind of tough for me to find something that we didn't already talk about. Obviously, like the passing game and everything, I feel like it's going to be better for sure. I think that Fields is the guy, and I think that obviously he's got some growing to do still, but as a third year quarterback, it's like this is the first year that he's actually legitimately had help. The only other thing that I could find to critique the Bears on was the fact that our depth at offensive line is awful. We got to see them get completely bodied by the Colts, which, by the way, their depth at D-line I didn't know was that good, but I mean, they made our guys look like Pop Warner kids. So at the end of the day, not really all that great. And then if you look at the Colts side of things as well, DeForest Buckner wasn't playing, so otherwise I'm not entirely sure how that pass rush was. But realistically speaking, they got to the ball pretty decently. And they were, the depth at everything was just pretty good. They're going to shock some people this year, and we've been calling it this entire offseason that the Colts are going to be decent. I think that they're going to make some noise. I don't think they're going to be playoff teams just yet, but I think they're going to shock some people compared to what they've done in the past year. Other than that, I think that does it, and I think that sends us into a familiar land, huh?
Yeah.
Another trip to Fantasyland.
Let's go. I'm so excited to reintroduce this segment back into our podcast. Now, Ben, what I decided to do, because obviously we can't give up our full strategies, right? Everybody knows that our fantasy football league is a 2-quarterback league. But as disgusting as that might sound to other people, or majority of people, who have a single quarterback league, it's a completely different strategy if you're drafting. So we're going to draft the typical fantasy league at a random position. So here's what I'll do. I'll share my screen. Can you see it and everything? It's all good. Here, let me take this down. Awesome. So right here, we have 10 teams. Obviously our roster positions: 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end. We have 1 flex at wide receiver, running back, and tight end, 1 defense, 1 kicker, and 6 bench spots. So
I've spent a lot of time on this on the Draft Wizard one. It's been bad.
I was gonna say you have the app, right?
Yeah,
it's a fun app. All right, so here's our draft position. I'm gonna click randomize. Ben, would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first.
You,
as long
sir,
as it's not 1 or 2. 8.
I will be drafting third. So
how are we going to do this, by the way?
That is a great question. I didn't think about this all the way through, actually. I had just woken up from a nap when I had this idea. So, here, you know what? Let's do 2. Okay. You can start off first and just tell me who to draft, and then I'll do mine after.
We'll switch it to 8.
Yeah, yours is 8. Yeah.
Okay.
I switched it up.
Yep.
It's all good.
Okay. Yeah, no, this is probably the easiest pick I've ever had. If Tyreek Hill is there with the 8th pick, I'm taking Tyreek Hill.
All right.
No, Bijan was who I wanted. Let me see who's here at the running back position.
Running backs, all right. To me, I think this is fairly obvious.
You're good. Go back to wide receivers for me. Gosh. I don't want to say anything without being too revealing what I'm thinking here. Let me go Monra. Yeah. Let me stack up with the wide receivers in this version here.
All right.
Get some nice mid rounds. Ooh, I know who I'm absolutely going here. Is Calvin Ridley still available here? I'll reach on Calvin a little bit here.
How do I search? What's going on here?
I don't know if you can. Yeah. Don't care if it was a reach. Who needs a running back? That being said, I was gonna say go. Yeah, give me Aaron Jones. I like Aaron Jones way more than I like the other two there at that position. Aaron Jones is just going to consistently get you like a top 6 fantasy thing. He's never going to finish as your RB1 or your RB2, but especially like this year, I think Aaron Jones is a safe pick because it's going to be a lot of running from them, and obviously he's going to be a workhorse guy. I think kind of the thought process to pass up on him and it's because of AJ Dillon and whatnot. But I'm not all the way there with that. I'm not quite an AJ Dillon fan. So go to all for me. Yeah, let me get my quarterback. Joey Burrow. The thing that does concern me, and I don't think we really touched on it too much with Joe Burrow. But there are kind of reports out that the ankle injury might be a little bit worse than what we thought. And I think Jamar Chase came out and told Joe Burrow, don't come back until week 5. We don't even need you until week 5. And if that's the case, it's going to be
fantasy wise, it's concerning.
It's concerning. Well, even just for them, because their backup is Trevor Siemian.
Mm-hmm. If
Trevor Siemian has to play for 4 games, I don't know if you're going to win a single one of them.
It's rough. Trust me.
Yeah. Let me see what running backs are on the board here.
Yikes.
Let me go with I'll go with JK. I'll get burned by JK again this year for the 3rd time in a row. It'll be great. It
has been rough for you, hasn't it?
When it comes to running back injury, it really has been. All right, you can just go back to all. Let's see who. Oh, this is easy. Give me Dante. I just have the best wide receiver room of everyone. Calvin Ridley, Dante, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Brandon Ayuk and Michael Pittman here at what round would this be?
That's wild. That's what I'm saying.
You're in the 8th round. That's value. That's crazy.
And that's why everyone's hammering kind of the 0 RB and whatnot, and stacking up on these wide receivers. But there's some value to be had in the 8th, 9th round with guys like Brandon Ayuk and Michael Pittman. And
the question here is, do you buy into the 49ers quarterback, Brock Purdy with Brandon Ayuk sharing targets with Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle? Or do you look at Michael Pittman and the value with him and Anthony Richardson?
Yeah, and I think if anyone's gonna have breakout year of like these middle round wide receivers, Michael Pittman's the guy to do it. But again, it's so much. As much as I love Anthony Richardson, it's just so hard to bet on rookie quarterbacks. And you're pretty much going to get a 0 the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season from Michael Pittman, just because you won't even have him in your starting lineup at that point.
Right.
But it's a conversation we had, and it might kind of be like the rougher out there pick out of the guys who are on the board here. But I'm going Dave Montgomery. I think Dave Montgomery is going to be in position to get a lot of touchdowns this year. Jamal Williams, there's a role for him in this offense, and he's a better running back than Jamal Williams. Let's be frank.
I'll let you have him. I'm not big on him.
Well, of course you're not, but he's going to be their goal line running back. And like I said, I don't care if you get me 3 yards as long as you're getting me a touchdown. So, gosh.
Do you take a hit on the rookie wide receivers here at the 908? What do you think?
It could absolutely be a possibility. And then I forget which podcast I was listening to. But that number 2 wide receiver position, the Vikings offense is like historically produced really well under Kirk Cousins. Adam Thielen, I think, like in the last 4 years, has finished as a top 20 fantasy wide receiver. When Kirk Cousins has played like more than like 14 games in the season or something. Jordan Addison, I think is going to be a better wide receiver than Adam Thielen. I don't think that's too much of a hot take.
No.
But I don't know. I'm going to go with the kind of the proven entity, a guy who had a really good season last year, who might take a step forward this year. I'm going to take John Dotson.
Wow. Okay. Let's see here. Now keep in mind, buddy, you still need a tight end.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of tight ends still available. I'll be just fine. Reports coming out. The love Cortland Sutton. Sean Payton does. And Sean Payton said they might like cut out a role within their offense and kind of give Cortland Sutton like the Michael Thomas role. So we're going to do that.
Drafting wide receiver heavy in this strategy.
Yeah, that's one at least. Yeah, now it's about time to get me a tight end here. Like I said, I'm ready to get burned by JK, ready to get burned by Kyle Pitts.
I'm so sorry. Look at this. It's even giving me the undo. Experts rating is 74. Would you like to undo this?
So.
I think it actually gives you the undo option for all of them, but still, it's just funny to joke about.
Yes.
What have you heard about Devon A-Chain?
I was going to say, I'm going to go with Devon A-Chain. He's still clearly RB3 as of right now within the Dolphins offense. But of those guys, I think he had the most upside to kind of be able to jump in by week 6, 7, 8, make the big impact. He's just a speedy guy. He's not going to get goal line touches. But I would not be surprised if he breaks it for a 40-yard touchdown, every 2, 3, 4 weeks. We'll round it out with, gosh, I don't know if I actually want to go with a player that I'm looking at. This is trying to balance between
actual strategy and
giving actual like fantasy advice without
exposing yourself.
Exposing what I'm thinking of is kind of hard.
We do have just about 11 days until our drafts. So
yeah, it depends on if you're gonna burn me or not, and I wouldn't run it past you if you did. Right. Yeah, so we're not going to do that. We're not going to draft a player that I actually want to draft here. But a player that I kind of was really high on throughout summer, and it's cooled down a little bit just because of the D-Hop signing. Why don't we go Chickakankwo?
Okay.
So,
Alright.
and then this is just like, I don't care about this. I don't just go Dallas defense because they're.
Oh no,
Yep,
I
that
picked
works
Philly
too.
for you.
That's fine. It's kicker and defense. I think we need to phase these out of all of fantasy football, but sure. So I
Not
ended it with I'm glad I'm not picking the 8th spot because I'm not the biggest fan of this team.
Let's see here. All right, so let me go back to my settings, and I drew 3rd overall, so be drafting 3rd. Starting here. All right, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson go off the board here, and I think that it's obvious who you have to pick here.
Yes.
But here's the thing, too. So
come on.
Cooper Kupp is also somebody I'm looking at, but if you're willing to take that hit, it's going to be interesting. But Christian McCaffrey's the clear cut number 3
Absolutely.
overall pick. Dude, I don't know why he's going so. I don't know if he's going super high in your mocks. Why is Austin Eckler going in the top 5? Is there something I'm missing here?
Because you play in a PPR league and he catches like 45 passes while rushing for 1,200 yards. It's a PPR league. PPR running backs that can catch footballs are highly valued in PPR leagues.
Yeah.
He said Tony Pollard's on the board.
Looking at wide receivers who's available in the 2nd round here.
Man, you just got to go with the best player available.
I'm a big
that is
Jalen
never
Waddle
understood.
guy.
People are like, yeah, that's never made sense to me. People are like, I draft a running back, so I'm gonna have to, wide receiver. Just go BPA. That's how you lose your league. Is trying to do too fancy. Just go BPA.
I want to look and see who is drafted.
This is an interesting conversation, though. This is an interesting conversation with Jonathan Taylor still on the board.
I'm not touching him. I'd be completely honest with you. If I have the number 3 overall pick, it's not happening for me just because, there's so much uncertainty. I think he'll be gone by the time we actually draft at my position. I don't think that that's going to be a problem here. Looking at this, though, the only problem with this next pick is that he has the 10-week bye week of week 10. I'm going Devontae Smith here. I think Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith, it's both 2 wide receiver 2s, but they get very fair wide receiver shares, so target shares. Looking at running back options here. I'm going to go ahead.
Come on. See, this is where it gets a little interesting.
Oh, it's fine. That's fine. With my draft position and everything, I don't feel bad about this pick. Let's see, average draft position is 65, and I'm at 38. All right, I'll go Calvin Ridley here.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, like I said, it's about balancing what you want to give away and what you don't want to give away.
Yeah.
But
I'm strictly
if you guys
going
listen
off
to the podcast, you guys know
Yeah.
where I fall on Calvin Ridley. And again, we're not 21. We legally can't bet and whatnot and all that stuff.
But if we could.
So if we could, Calvin Ridley's like yardage lines at like 860, which is just like asinine when you think about how good he's been when he was in the league.
Yeah.
So
at this point in time, you're looking at the 5th round, and this is typically the round in which you start to see quarterbacks start falling off the board.
Yes.
You have a lot of picks in between your next as well. With Joe Burrow's uncertainty, and we already talked about it a little bit, I want to be a little bit different here, and I'm a homer. I think Justin Fields is going to be a huge pick for a fantasy team this year. I also think Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence would be a very good option here in the 5th round as well. This is a very fine selection of quarterbacks that's available. I'll pick Justin Fields here just to be a homer here, though. And the guy that I wanted next just flew off the board. Amari Cooper has been just taking those strides, as well as, getting the chemistry built up and everything with Deshaun Watson. It's something to look out for sure. I let's see.
And before you make your pick real quick, go ahead and click on wide receiver for me. It is a little crazy to me that a guy like you can make an argument for your Drake London, your Christian Watson, your Dante Johnson. Hold on, guys, I'm gonna sneeze here real quick.
This man's been sneezing all night, man. Got some problems.
I work, as you guys know, I work outside. My allergies are kind of acting up and whatnot. But like the fact that someone like DJ Moore is going around the same like picks that these guys are going for. I don't know if DJ Moore has been selected yet in this
5'10".
draft. Yeah, he was selected like a half a
for
round
DJ Moore's
from where
nuts.
you were at, which is wild. I mean, I do think that his ADP probably went up like 10 points after this past game. For those who don't, I keep on saying ADP, it's average draft position. But if you're getting DJ Moore in the 5th round, like jump on that. That's a W, especially with the connection him and Fields has been developing.
Mm-hmm. So with the Atlanta quarterback situation, I'll tell you this much: as much as a homer that I am, I trust Green Bay's quarterback situation a little bit more than I do Atlanta's. So because of that, I'll reach on Christian Watson here a little bit. In my opinion, I think it's reaching. And then because he's still available, I'm going with Alvin Kamara as my RB2. And then honestly, you could find somebody later on in the draft for that 3 weeks, but he'll be perfectly fine.
Even just do like Jamal Williams for the first 3 weeks, and then
you have
Williams with Alvin Kamara.
I'll just go ahead and draft. I'll draft his 3-week replacement here, and it's also a potential flex option as well. DeAndre Swift has been popping off in training camp. People are going to say he's going to be taking those starting reps. So DeAndre Swift is who I'm taking at the 808. And then so
I don't want anything to do with the Eagles running back. It's always been Eagles by committee running back room.
See, okay, so everybody likes to hype up the Darren Waller pick. I like Dallas Goedert just because, the target share and everything like that. Darren Waller's going to go a little bit more, but I like Dallas Goedert.
And this is when you start having the conversation of how much does it matter to you. You have 3 Eagles on your fantasy team, and if the Eagles have a bad week, then it starts getting really bad. And to the Waller thing, just real quick though, I don't know why Waller's going as high as he is. Waller hasn't produced like in fantasy for like 2-3 years. And how often do you see a 32-year-old tight end step in and outproduce the way he's been performing on a new team? So it's not that he's 32-year-old tight end, but it's a 32-year-old tight end that has not looked good, who's now joining a new team, who, let's be frank, is playing with a worse quarterback than he did with his old team. So I don't quite understand why people are going for the whole Darren Waller stuff. I'm all the way out on Darren
Waller. Next up, I'm hearing a lot of noise for him. Brian Robinson's getting a lot of noise in training camp. I'm excited for him. But I mean, as you said before, Courtland Sutton is also attractive at this point in time as well. And I mean, you've only got 4 spots in between you for the next 2, so you could honestly grab both. So I'm going to try and do that right here. Awesome. Looks like it fell. So grab both here, both Brian Robinson and Courtland Sutton. All right. And then next up as well, see, here's a little tricky. So Adam Thielen is arguably like the first or second best wide receiver on Carolina's team. So at some point in time, you got to think, like, does this guy actually, like, I kind of like him. I'm not going to lie, as far as value here. Over Nico Collins, Alan Lazard, Tyler Boyd. I'm picking Adam Thielen here. I'll reach a little bit. I don't care. Whatever. And then here, I'm going to need another running back soon. So I'm going to go ahead. Here's the thing. I don't know.
Take a handcuff. I don't know. Take the handcuff and Elijah Mitchell, I think.
That's what I was thinking as well, just in case Christian McCaffrey does it. Christian McCaffrey does. So we'll do that, and then
And like we like low key forget that like Elijah Mitchell was going in like their 4th or 5th round last year when it was just him and he did not have to worry about Christian McCaffrey. Obviously, you hope for health and everything, but if Christian McCaffrey goes down, Elijah Mitchell is going to be a top 12 fantasy running back, or he's going to produce like a top 12 fantasy running back.
So, and then I grabbed the Jets and Evan McPherson for my final 2 picks for defense and a kicker. So next up, we have our next segment.
It's time for America's favorite game, Weddle.
So I already shared it and surprised everybody with what's coming up next, whatever. So Ben, you're killing me right now, man. It's 26-17 you. I didn't play this today. I almost did, but we'll see what happens. You want to go first or second? I won, but I'm gonna let you have the option in easy mode.
I'll go AJ Brown. I'll go first.
All right. So NFC team, it's a wide receiver. He's taller than 6'1", and he's wearing a number that's less than 11.
There's a small chance I played today accidentally, like last night, heading into the morning this morning. We'll see how easy goes. And if that doesn't work out, then we can do it on my computer.
Okay. Chase Claypool is not the guy, but man, I was thinking that though. It's the age thing that messed me up.
Yeah. That leaves the South and West.
How tall? How old is DJ Chark? Because doesn't he wear 10?
Well, yeah, we can do DJ Chark.
Okay, so that's a Western guy then. What number does?
It's Tyler Lockett.
Lockett.
What?
Wow. Okay. 30 years old though. Let's see here. I mean, 49ers, you got the Rams. How old is Van Jefferson?
No, Van Jefferson was in the same draft class as Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Oh, really? Who's the? Oh, okay. You have. I'm kind of stumped here. I mean,
Rondo Moore.
I'll go
it's
Cooper
someone
Kupp
in the
then.
Cardinals, I bet.
It's Cooper Kupp. Cool.
Cooper Kupp's 30?
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Hard
Same
mode,
age as
baby.
Tyler Lockett.
I will go first. Tyreek Stevenson, baby. Ooh, it's a young gun. All right.
Young gun. Boogie Basham. I don't know if it'll show up as Boogie though.
Wow. All right.
Okay, well, I know who it is. I was deciding between 2 defensive ends, so I good luck, buddy.
They drafted a defensive end, but I don't know who it is. You can go ahead. I give up. I don't know.
Gregory Rousseau.
Wow.
I was deciding between Rick. Oh, I'm mad I did Boogie instead of Gregory. Yeah, I did not play this one, by the way, for those. That's just something that happened. I've been good about telling you guys if I've played it or not. That was pretty electric.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we finished within an hour, so thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys have
hopefully your Bears game has less injuries than
that's horrible, man.
The Eagles game, two players got carted off. Prayers to them and their families.
Marcus Mariota's ego got hurt.
Marcus Mariota has been playing like trash, and Tanner Key has been slanging that rock.
I feel bad for Marcus Mariota. Wow. Okay. Well, I don't know. That'll do it for this week's episode of the Pigskin Project. We will be back next week with the Lions and Vikings schedule predictions. We are just 2 weeks away. 2 weeks. That's it. From football mattering. I mean, this is it. So if you have any other suggestions or anything, please hit us up on our DMs. We'll be back next week with Bishop Knoll news as well. Huge day tomorrow.
Looking forward to it.
I'm already tired thinking about it. Thank you to Overtime Sports Network, Regional Radio Sports Network, Uppercuts Grooming, and Spotify for Podcasters for helping us branch out as a podcast. And until next time, this has been the Pigskin Project. We'll see you guys in episode